Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. Check out this beautiful holiday set that I have here for you. If you're interested in seeing how that came to be, definitely keep watching. So this is the previous set that the client came in with. I will link this in the cards for you. It was that beautiful matte ombre brown flame set that we recently did. Loved it. She actually came back exactly 1 month to the day. So that's how much new growth you saw she had in 1 month. It varies from client to client, but ready to go in and have a Christmas holiday set. So I'm showing you this removal process, just a little bit of it on this one hand. I am going in with a 3 times coarse, so extra coarse, 5-in-1 carbide bit. I love this bit. I get it from Pana on Amazon, but honestly, everyone's selling them. Just look up 5-in-1 bits, and I choose the triple extra coarse one. And I use my e-file all the way up at 35,000 RPM when doing this step. So it is extremely fast and extremely aggressive of a bit, this removal process. And since I know that I'm not removing all the way down to the natural nail or all the way down to the tip, because I am going to be using a different colored acrylic, my focus here is just to debulk and remove any lifting that I can see possible. So towards the back of the nail, you'll see I'm mostly using the very tip of the nail, and I sped it up just so you can get through it a little bit faster. But I use the very tip of the 5-in-1. The beauty about the 5-in-1 is that it's a bit of a safety around the tip or the pointy edge, and then back towards the barrel of the bit, it's bigger, chunkier teeth that kind of eat up more product. So when I want to debulk, I use the middle or back of the bit, and when I want to be a little bit more careful in the removal or the debulking, then I use the tip of the bit. So towards the back of the nail, where there's more likely, prone to be lifting, you're going to see me using more of the tip, and like there you see at the bottom or the front of the nail or the free edge area, you're going to see me using the back of the bit just to kind of remove as much product as possible. So like on this nail, you can see there's a bit of significant lifting. What I'm doing is not grinding down on that area. I am grinding down really on the free edge and middle of the nail, because that's where I want to debulk, but I use the tip of the bit to kind of thin out that acrylic area where I know that there's lifting. And usually you can tell that there's lifting because the product is a little bit lighter or has like a white cast underneath it. And I thin it out lightly with the tip of the bit and have it kind of just flake away, really. You don't want to apply pressure to that area. You run the risk of damaging your client or giving them heat spikes or even eating through too much of the product and into the natural nail. So here on the thumb, there's not too much lifting, but you're going to see me flaking away. So thinning out that area with the tip of the bit, and you're going to see the product just kind of flake away as necessary. Any excess or edges of that acrylic, I'm going to use my sanding band to kind of file that down so it's flush to the natural nail. So I'm not removing the entire set. I am just thinning out that product, cleaning up any lifted area, and then we'll get set for the rest, or for the new set pretty much. After I'm done with that, I spray the client down. It's basically like starting from zero. Spray them down with some alcohol. This just helps to further clean the nail and moisten up the skin, because my thing that I do here is use the, what is this called? Cuticle pusher to push the cuticles away. So I'm pushing back the eponychium, which is that skin there. I know we call it the cuticle, but technically it's the eponychium. And I'm pushing it away from the nail plate. So as you can see, I'm being super gentle. Actually, I haven't sped this process up at all. This is natural speed, and I'm just gently pushing the skin away. I'm not using a super sharp motion to kind of force it up and off the nail. We just gently push, and however it comes up, it comes up. Some clients, like this one in particular, is very sensitive to that. So I try my best not to use like a scraping motion. I use this bit. This is my diamond skiver bit. It's kind of like a pointy pencil bit. And I'm using it at a very low speed. It's a diamond abrasion, so it is safe to use on the natural nail. And as you can see, I'm keeping it fairly flat to the nail. And I'm just going around underneath where that skin was that we pushed away. And this is basically helping to grind up off that sticky cuticle that's on the nail plate, that if I just went in and applied acrylic to, you would absolutely have lifting in no time. So just, making sure to focus on good prep so that we have a good lasting set. You saw her previous set did really, really well. I think only one finger, the middle finger, had a lot of lifting, but for the most part, you want to, give your clients good prep so that they don't have, you want them to come back, but you don't want them to be calling you after like a week or a few days to be like, yeah, my nail lifted, so the better the prep, the better the set is going to last. I'm going to do this in both the forward and backwards directions. So once done, you see I flip my e-file to the reversed, so it's going now left to right, and I'm just going in the same process, just in the opposite direction. So going from the left part of the nail to the right, and I just feel like this helps to get rid of any excess cuticle that might be still laying on the plate that kind of got pushed down when going right to left. You can lift it back up and remove it going left to right. Once done with that, if I feel like my client has a bit of dry skin around the nail, I like to go in with this diamond ball bit. So it's the same texture as the skiver bit that I was using before. However, it's in the shape of a ball. And I don't actually use this on the nail. If you're looking, I actually use it on the skin around the nail plate. So if there's like dry skin, especially on the sidewalls, kind of like in that area, I turn this bit up pretty high. So it's about a medium to high speed. And I just use it to kind of dust or sand away the dead skin to kind of leave a really beautiful and fresh appearance to the side walls, so that we have a nice clean application look, not only to the nail but to the skin as well. And my client actually loves it. She's just kind of like, this is the most relaxing part of the service, getting the dry skin kind of, and you can see there was a good amount, but it just helps to dust it away, and it gives us a nice appearance so that when we finish the set, everybody's looking good. Now, to get ready for the actual prep, we are just going in with this coarse sanding band from Young Nails. So this is back down to a very low speed, and I'm literally just dusting the nail plate to give it a little bit of an etching so that the acrylic has something to stick to. You're going to see me spending some time on the edges of the previous extension, just to kind of smooth that out and give a seamless transition from the natural nail to the acrylic that's already there. Especially like on the middle finger where there was a significant amount of lifting, you're seeing I'm spending some time on this nail, kind of blending the edges so that it seamlessly transitions. You don't want there to be like a ridge of the acrylic that was there previously laying over that natural nail. You're going to see me spending a little bit of time, especially on this finger, doing that. So dusting the nail like normal, just a light little scruff of the nail with a sanding band. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Then you're going to see me spend right here a little bit of time with the edge of the sanding band, and I'm making sure to put it only on the acrylic part, not on the nail. You don't want to over buff your client's nails, but what I'm doing here is removing any excess lifting and making it thin so that there's a seamless transition. Next, it's time for prep. I'm going in with my Mia Secret dehydrator just to dry out the nail and get it set for primer. So the primer system that I'm using today is a little bit different. I decided to try something just a little bit different. I'm going in with the Valentino Super Bond. I recently purchased this in a haul that I got for Black Friday and just decided to try something new. So I'm not going in with the Mia Secret primer or protein bond by Young Nails. I'm just using the Valentino Super Bond. So we'll see when the client comes back what this looks like. And you can see the color of the day is really, really bright and messy. But to start, we are just going to add a nude nail to the ring finger, similar to what she had on the previous set where we just had a different solid nude nail. That's basically what we're using, and it's the same color. This is Valentino's Dolce de Leche. I love this color. I'm raving about it. It is just doing it for me. And as you can see, it looks beautiful on her skin tone. So just a full, simple application of this acrylic. I'm also using the Valentino monomer. So pretty much a Valentino nail as in this, set as in this nail, but just using that acrylic to build up a solid nail. I will not be clear capping any of these nails. So it's important to make sure that the structure is adequate for the length. The nails did grow out a little bit, and we're not going to be cutting them down or shaving them or anything. So just making sure that there's ample product in the right places so that the client has the structure that they need, so that they don't like snap a nail or get stress fractures or get a service breakdown over time. I think I'm doing like a 3 bead or 4 bead. I don't really care about beads, but if you're wondering, I try to start with like a medium sized bead towards the middle of the natural nail, right before their free edge. And as you can see, I pat that product down, always pushing the product back towards the middle by patting the sidewall and free edge. And as you can see, I have a pretty good shape set. I am a stickler for using the acrylic to build my shape before getting to filing because I want to file as little as possible. So if that means I have to pat my acrylic twice as much as anyone else, I'm gonna do that. And I feel like it gives me good results. Also, this client has had these tips on for about a few sets now. So we know that the tips are not gonna be super sharp like they would if they were brand new. So this is the point where I take in the process to kind of sharpen that shape up again. You'll see the free edge of this nail compared to the free edge of her middle finger that you're looking at. The middle finger is a little bit rounded, so I use the opportunity with the acrylic to kind of sharpen that back up. So when the acrylic is polymerizing or hardening, I take my brush and just push it into that square shape so that it has that sharp tip, so that we don't have to lose any length in the filing process to get that, if that makes any sense. But yeah, just using the Dulce de Leche, I think this is my third bead, to build a super solid structured nail. Sorry that my big old blue nail is in the way, but being uber careful. And I feel like I've gotten a good hang of knowing how Valentino products work. Every acrylic system works differently. You're gonna see me struggling with the other color, that bright red you see down on the table. It was a completely different product that I'm used to working with. I feel like I'm used to acrylics that kind of set a little bit faster. Going in with another bead here, totally fine so long as you're building up structure adequately for your client. But I feel like it was just a little bit more of a powdery, or yeah, just a powdery consistency than more of an acrylic-y consistency. I don't know if that makes sense. Kind of like that acrylic was more, I'm talking about the red acrylic, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a bit. It was more powdery, which made it more runny, and it didn't polymerize like acrylic. I guess products that are more acrylic-y do. I don't know how to describe it, but you're going to see what's going on. So same process. I'm going to go in with a medium to larger size bead right at the middle of the nail. And I'm going to kind of, at this point, I hold it on the nail for a bit. And at this point, it should be polymerizing. But you're going to see it kind of running. Like it's more watery than it is more acrylic-y. I don't know if that makes sense. So instead of me like dipping my brush into my monomer, you see I'm tapping the brush to kind of dry out the product, and it's kind of running, and it's not a bad thing. I just wasn't used to it. I'm used to my acrylic behaving in a different way, so I did struggle a little bit with this product, but it just takes time. I think it's important to kind of acknowledge that every product is different, it's going to react differently, but a good nail tech should be able to modify their application process. So it took me a hand. I will say that this is the client's left hand. I always start with the client's right hand, and it took us, a few fingers on that hand for me to be like, what the heck? Why is this acrylic running so much? But by the time I got to this hand, I kind of figured it out, and definitely by the time I get to the thumb, I'm like, I got it. But you're gonna see it's running, right? You see it running over the free edge. Usually I can manage the acrylic bead to not fold over. I can kind of just, move the product around as necessary. So to combat that, I pick up a bead, I kind of tap it on my napkin and then dry it out a little bit just to kind of get a little bit more control. But even this bead, you see how it's just kind of sitting there? It's not like hardening or polymerizing into that ball that it normally does. It was just a little bit everywhere. So what I did actually after finishing this set was pour a lot of clear acrylic into this product. I think it's a gorgeous product, and maybe it just has a really slow setting time. I'm used to my products setting a lot more faster than this. So for me, how I'm gonna fix it is just adding some acrylic. So I dumped out maybe half of the product, or like a third, and then replaced it with my Young Nails Core Clear. Shook it up, and then it worked great for me. That's something that you can also do. Or if you're someone who prefers your acrylic setting time to be a little bit slower, then that's fine too. But you can see here that it's kind of running everywhere. I did clean it up, and I am using my tip of the brush to kind of clean the sidewalls and cuticle area for any backflow. But definitely keep that in mind. If you are working with different products, they're going to react differently. So that's what's happening here. Regardless of that, it's a beautiful color by Clawley called Red Velvet, and it is literally a red velvet color. I know in the pot it looks like this bright, beautiful, like Barbie hot pink fuchsia kind of color, but it comes out this deep kind of bloody red velvet red. And actually the set that we're doing today, I actually didn't intend for it to be red. I actually had a different Clawley color, interestingly. Really gorgeous colors on that site. And it was more of a teal kind of blue. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a really cool play on a Christmas set. But the client came in and was kind of like, I think I want like a red. And we pulled a few reds. I pulled like a bright candy cane kind of Christmassy red. I pulled this one, which is more of a berry kind of red velvet red. And then I pulled more of a pinky red that kind of felt more fuchsia pinky. And we all thought, we both thought that this red was the one that was kind of do it, where you get the Christmas vibes, but it wouldn't be too much on the nose, and it was more red than pink. So this is the color we chose, and we were so happy with it. It's just a gorgeous color. Clawley definitely has some interesting colors. I feel like I've seen colors on there that interest me in a way where they're not colors you kind of see everywhere. So definitely check out Clawley. Love the colors. The products are a little bit more powdery. I've noticed I used a different acrylic from them, and it was kind of the same thing. So I'm just assuming that the consistency of the products is a little bit different, but the results are so gorgeous. Beautiful colors. As you can see, my napkin is soaked with that red. Definitely be cautious of that if you're working on a white surface. I did drop a little bit of acrylic on my white surface, and it took a while to clean up. So if you're using more pigmented colors, definitely be aware of that, or use a really good absorbing napkin. The napkins that I use for my acrylic process are those Car Shop blue paper towels. They're a little bit more expensive if you buy them in person, but I know that at Home Depot I can get like a pack of 3 for $14.99 and or something like that on Amazon as well. So I like these napkins. They absorb a lot of product. It also helps when you are using your acrylic and tapping off constantly. It kind of removes excess acrylic from your brush so that you don't get buildup, and then you can have a really good application over a long amount of time. Because I know that when I first started with acrylic, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but when I first started with acrylic, I was experiencing buildup, like product buildup in my brush while working, and it was getting gummy and like sticky, and then my application was like not smooth. It's because one factor is because your napkin is probably not absorbing enough of the product monomer from your brush as you're tapping. So definitely look into using a more absorbent paper towel when working, and this one definitely works. It's the Blue Shop. I'll link them down below. Blue Shop, Car Shop, I don't know, it's like a Car Shop napkin. It's really good. But here's my second bead, and at this point I'm kind of like, all right, I think I got it. I need to, dry out the bead a little bit and just kind of work and keep the finger down. Yeah, I've got a stiff finger client. I'm like, girl, put your finger, get out of my face. So push the client's finger down. But as you can see, I am just trying to push that product away from the sidewalls before it has a chance to run, and working with the finger down versus it being up towards me, and cleaning as I go. So at this point I kind of got it. I'm like, all right, I think I know how it's going to work. Let me, modify my application. And it's a beautiful color, guys, just gorgeous. Not going to say too much after this. Every single nail is going to get a solid application of this gorgeous color by Clawley. It's called Red Velvet. The one finger that was different was the ring finger, and that got a full application of Dolce de Leche. But I'm always proud of my growth as a nail tech. I've been doing nails going on 2 years now, I think. And it's just been really cool to see in real time. I know I say it all the time, but like, I'm always proud of my application growth and my design and implementation of like designs. I just feel like I'm growing, and it's really cool to kind of see it real time, and you're watching me grow and learn as well. So if you're someone who is interested and just kind of like, I'm not sure, just start. Everybody starts at, some place, and, you're going to get better with time. I'm growing, and you're seeing that. So yeah, just same color application for the rest of the nails. And here I am wrapping up the thumb application. Look at the color. The color is beautiful, isn't it? Whew. It's a really good color for holiday season. And it kind of reminds me of the plum red kind of color I used last Valentine's for that glass encapsulated rose and gold foil set. Ooh, that was a good one. I should bring that back. But yeah, if you like more of me talking in my videos, definitely let me know. I've been considering talking more, less about like what I'm doing and just more about like my experiences in nails or just story times in general. Definitely let me know. But we're getting into the e-file section, and look at how gorgeous this color is. I mean, definitely you can see how pigmented this acrylic is. The pigment is flying everywhere. So yes, this is a great product, but definitely be cautious if you have a white surface like me. As you can see, I don't have my dust collector out. Put a napkin down or like a towel down, or use your dust collector. But yeah, it stained my table, but it is beautiful. So we're just using my e-file to smooth out these gorgeous one color application nails. And we both actually, when doing this set with the client, we're just kind of like, I don't think we've ever done just a solid color application on her. It's always been like an ombre or a marble. So this was her first time getting just solid color application, and it looked really good. If you're checking it out, I'm also twisting the finger sideways to see the structure of the nail. So I enjoy my apex being not directly back at the eponychium or at the cuticle area of the nail. I kind of like it to be moving towards about halfway of the client's natural nail, in the middle, more towards the free edge. Do what works for you aesthetically, but just making sure that the client has the appropriate structure so that the nail will last and they won't break randomly, etc. I'm also using the e-file to smooth out the surface of the nail. But yeah, if you want more of a chatty video, definitely let me know. Clearly I like to talk, but if you want me to shut up, let me know about that too. I can definitely just run music in the background and you guys can just enjoy the nails, but let me know what you want to see. And as we can see, the nails have a nice, beautiful shape to them. That's what I'm always talking about in terms of making sure that my acrylic application does most of the work for me. I spend a lot of time patting that product around so that when we get to this point, all I'm really doing is making the nail nice and sharp. So using my 8080 hand file, super stiff. I get it on Amazon from Pana. Love them. And I'm just sharpening up the shape here, just running it up and down on that free edge. As you can see, I didn't spend too much time filing. I don't want to be, using my body to really grind down the shape of the nails. At this point, I'm basically just crispening up the shape and cleaning up right there, pushing any product away from the skin and just cleaning that up with the hand file. Making sure to support the nail as best as possible. You see me wrapping my hand or my fingers around the nail, depending on the direction that I'm filing, especially on this free edge. I like to put my ring finger and pinky underneath the base of the nail. And the client will sometimes be like, "You're squeezing." And I'm like, "I know, trying to protect you." But yeah, that's how I get my nice file. Push the skin away on the side, filed on the side walls, push on the other side, filed on that side wall, and then squeeze underneath and file up and down on that free edge. That's usually how I get a nice sharp shape. And because I knew that we were going to be going in and doing some intense hand design, I wanted to get a good buffing of the nail. So I've got this giant buffing block, and we're going to be buffing to our heart's content. We want a nice smooth surface of the nail that has a tiny bit of texture to it. We want that gel polish to have something to grip to, but we want it to be super fine because I'm going to be doing some really detailed snowflake nail art, and I don't want there to be like grooves or divots in the nail that kind of suck in the product to distort what I'm drawing. So spending just a little bit of time buffing the nails, and I'm going to buff underneath too. When filing, the nails get a little bit sharp on the bottom, so I don't want the client to like scratch themselves or like rip anything, unnecessarily. So just buffing underneath the nail as a courtesy to the client as well. I did have the client wash their hands, but I like to do this anyway. I'm spraying her back down with alcohol. This helps to dehydrate the nail, and I'm using a manicure brush to remove any dust, debris, and just clean things up. We are gonna do some significant nail art coming up soon. So now it's pretty much time for the fun stuff. We are gonna get started by adding some glossy top coat. Yeah, we're just top coating these nails. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I was intentionally I was planning on doing this set in a turquoise kind of green blue color, so I wanted to do some chrome on this nail. I thought that would add a touch of, I don't know, Christmas spirit, if you will, to the set. But when we decided to go with the red, I was like, you know what, we can still add the chrome. So that's what we're going in with the top coat for, giving it a base so that the chrome has something to kind of brandish into. I'm using Gloss It from Not Polish, giving it a nice coating, nothing crazy. I'm not being super careful because this is not our final coat. Just giving myself a base so that we can later add some chrome to. I'm gonna have the client cure for 60 seconds and lock this in. I'm going in with this iridescent, and these nails look so beautiful. At this point, we could have just left her. Going in with this iridescent blue tint chrome. And as you can see, it's applying beautifully to that top coat. And I'm just using, you can use your finger, you can use like a glove. Like if you have like a rubber glove on, you can use that as well. But I'm just using this makeup application, I don't know, sponge to kind of just rub that clear blue chrome onto that top coat. And the purpose of this is just to add, like I said, just a bit of something. I don't know. I feel like it adds to the holiday spirit where the color hasn't changed on the nail, but when the client rotates their finger, you can get a hint of something, I don't know, something that kind of gives me that holiday spirit. Once done with that, we are going to be matte topping the nails, brushing away the excess. And as you can see, the color hasn't changed, but it just gives a hint of something cool. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it, but I thought it was a really cool touch. So I'm going to go in with my matte top coat. I'm going to be using Matte It from Not Polish and just finalizing or locking in this chrome powder on the nails. And I wanted to go matte. We talked about going matte. She wanted to go glossy, but we were really happy in the end to not. I think the matte top coat was important because we are doing so much nail art. Mattifying nail art just kind of gives it a flat surface to kind of shine on its own. But if you have gloss, then it's just a lot going on. There's shine. You can't really see the design in some aspects. And I thought it was really cool to kind of see the chrome sitting underneath the matte finish. It just really, really pushed it to the background. So you kind of saw it in a hint of, but it wasn't the focus of the nail. I'm going to have her cure for a minute to lock this down. If you know, you know. I love me some Cuticle Bling, and you can see the chrome, like I was talking about, how it's underneath that matte. It's just a hint of that blue shine. I thought it was super cool. But we're going in with these really gorgeous Swarovski Rhinestones. I have tons of those little sets of Swarovski Bling that I get from Michael's, and they come in these perfectly coordinated colored sets. So we found some really cool kind of deep red fuchsia stones that went perfectly with this design. So this is the part of the, the video where you're just gonna kind of have to watch. I can't really explain too much of it, but we are building snowflake patterns on the nails, and I'm using these really cool liner brushes that I'm always talking about, these gel nail art brushes, striper brushes that everyone's selling right now. I have tons of sets from Amazon. I just purchased a nude one that's super, super cool and added it to my collection. But I'm just using a simple white and a very, very thin, dry, almost dry application to it so that we don't bleed. And we are just drawing snowflakes. There's no rhyme or reason. I was trying to draw them differently, but they ended up kind of being just the same 2 or 3 different snowflake designs. I'm not gonna talk your head off in this case, but just being uber careful. Please don't be like me. I did not cure in between all of the nails. I think I stopped her after one nail. I was like, you know what, just stick your hand in the nail for me, in the light for me real quick, because you might fall or I might mess up and mess all of this up. But as you can see, we're just randomly placing snowflakes on the nail, and I'm trying to do 1 medium size, 1 large one, and then like a twinkle, and then just dots around the nail. And I'm just varying it up so that it's not the same design on every hand. But yeah, love it. It took a lot of time, but I think it came out great. And you can totally see that chrome underneath that matte. I don't know how to describe what it does, but I think it just added a hint of something really, really cool. Definitely just enjoy this part. And now that we've got our snowflakes down, it is time to matte top coat this nude nail with the bling. So I added a little bit to my natural nail, not my nail, but to my nail as just like a palette, because I knew that I was going to have to use a small detail brush to get that matte top coat around the rhinestones, and just needed to put some there. But we're just mattifying around the rhinestones. You don't want to, especially because they're Swarovski, you don't want to get matte top coat on top of them. It will remove the brilliance and the facets of the rhinestone that kind of give it that crazy sparkle. Just being super careful not to get it on. If I do, I definitely go in with a wipe with alcohol on it before having the client cure. I'm going to clean my sidewalls, clean up around the nail, and then have the client cure to finish. And because we already top coated the other red nails, the last thing to do at this point is to add some bling. So I knew I wanted to add really tiny sparkle bits on these nails just to give it a really final finish, to have it just scream Christmas and holiday at you, right? It's red, it's matte, it has a blue hint of sparkle underneath with the chrome, and we've got this really amazing and detailed snowflake design. I mean, we can't not go in with the rhinestone. So I'm just using my Zule Bling adhesive, and I'm just adding really tiny dots of the glue and adding the smallest crystal AB rhinestones that I could find. And I just think it gave the nails just a hint of something sparkly that it needed to just wrap this entire theme up. So nothing crazy. You're seeing me applying the rhinestones, and then it's basically finishing this set off. And this is what the set ended up looking like. So gorgeous and pretty for the holiday season. I really hope you like this one. Definitely check out how the chrome is just doing that thing underneath the red. I love that it's matte and the snowflakes are semi-glossy. Love the set so much. It was a labor of love in terms of drawing all of these snowflakes, but it's a simple design and it's really impactful. Hopefully you liked it. Tell me what color you would want your base to be in the comments down below. Like if you like, subscribe for more. Thank you so much for joining this family that I have happening on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one.